Story number 1: The Disappearing Island, a Canary Islands nightmare. My wife, Sarah, and I were ecstatic. We'd finally saved enough for a dream vacation, a secluded island getaway in the Canary Islands. The pictures were idyllic: turquoise water lapping at white sand beaches, quaint villas nestled amidst palm trees. Caleta del Mar promised tranquility, a stark contrast to our usual bustling city life. The ferry ride was idyllic, the sun warming our faces as playful dolphins danced alongside the boat. Arriving at Caleta del Mar, however, a shiver ran down my spine. The island, once vibrant in the photos, seemed shrouded in a strange mist. Our rented car sputtered and coughed as we navigated the deserted main road. The island, despite boasting several villas according to the website, seemed eerily devoid of life. Our villa, perched on a cliff overlooking a churning sea, was beautiful yet oddly dilapidated. The paint was peeling, the windows dusty, and an unsettling silence hung heavy in the air. We dismissed it as rustic charm and unpacked, Sarah's smile strained. The day unraveled into a series of unsettling occurrences. The internet we were promised was non-existent, our phones had no signal, and the only radio station played static. The welcome basket promised by the website consisted of a single, withered apple. We explored the island, finding nothing but abandoned shops and a single, boarded-up restaurant. Nightfall brought no relief. The wind howled like a banshee, rattling the shutters and whipping sand against the windows. As I tried to fix a flickering lamp, a guttural shriek tore through the air. Sarah screamed, clutching me. We huddled together, our hearts pounding, until a loud clang sent us scrambling to the window. The sight that greeted us was enough to curdle our blood. In the moonlight, we saw a figure, tall, gaunt, and shrouded in a tattered black cloak, dragging a heavy object across the beach below. It moved with an unnatural gait, disappearing into the churning waves as quickly as it appeared. Sleep was an elusive dream that night. Dawn brought no answers. We combed the beach, finding only disturbing, claw-like marks in the sand. Panic gnawed at us. Where was everyone? What was happening? Desperate, I climbed the highest point on the island, hoping to catch a glimpse of a passing ship. My breath caught in my throat. The vast expanse of ocean I expected was missing. Instead, only an endless expanse of swirling mist met my eyes. Terror finally overwhelmed us. We packed our meager belongings, the car inexplicably starting at the first try. As we drove towards the harbor, the mist seemed to recede before us, revealing a dilapidated dock where the ferry should have been. In its place, a rusted fishing boat lay tethered to the mooring. A wizened old fisherman, his face etched with lines deeper than the ocean trenches, sat mending his nets. He didn't look up as we approached. Leaving so soon? He rasped, his voice like sandpaper on wood. Where is everyone? I stammered. Where's the ferry? A cold smile played on the man's lips. There's no ferry, son. Never has been. Tourists come here looking for paradise, but this island. He gestured towards the swirling mist. This island takes its secrets to the grave. He chuckled, a dry, hollow sound, as we scrambled into the boat. As the mist swallowed us whole, I could have sworn I saw fleeting glimpses of figures shrouded in darkness amongst the swirling tendrils. We never did escape the island. To this day, I don't know if it was a real place or a figment of a collective nightmare. But one thing is certain, Caleta del Mar claimed its place in our memories, a chilling reminder that paradise can sometimes be a mask for something far more sinister. Story number 2: The Price of Silence, a French Alps nightmare. A blanket of pristine snow covered the French Alps as our rickety cable car ascended the mountain. My girlfriend, Chloe, and I had opted for a secluded, off-the-beaten-path chalet for our winter getaway. It was a bit more rustic than the luxurious resorts advertised online, but the isolation held a certain appeal. The moment we stepped off the cable car, a thick silence settled around us. We were greeted by a lone figure bundled in layers, Madame Dubois, the chalet owner. Her smile was as brittle as the frozen ground beneath our feet, and her eyes held a flicker of something unsettling. We shrugged it off, attributing it to the remoteness of the location. The chalet itself was charming, a rustic wooden cabin with a crackling fireplace and a breathtaking view of the snow-capped peaks. However, an unsettling feeling lingered. The place held an eerie emptiness, devoid of any personal touches. Madame Dubois was equally elusive, dropping off supplies with minimal interaction. Our first night, a low drumming sound echoed through the cabin, originating from an unseen source. Sleep was a distant dream. The next morning, we discovered strange symbols carved into the cabin's ancient beams, symbols that seemed to writhe and pulsate in the weak morning light. Chloe, ever the optimist, brushed them off as rustic decorations. But I couldn't shake off the feeling that they were something more, a dark warning perhaps. We spent our days exploring the breathtaking scenery, the silence punctuated only by the crunch of fresh snow under our boots. But the quiet held an unnerving pressure, like a storm brewing beneath the pristine surface. One afternoon, while venturing deeper into the forest than intended, we stumbled upon a hidden clearing. In the center stood a dilapidated stone structure, adorned with the same unsettling symbols carved into the chalet's beams. Chloe, her breath ragged in the thin air, stumbled back, clutching my arm. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows of the stone structure. A wizened old man, his face etched with deep wrinkles, wore a tattered cloak that seemed to blend with the encroaching darkness. He spoke in a raspy voice, French laced with an unknown dialect, his eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity. Fear tightened its icy grip on me as Chloe translated his words. "You shouldn't be here," he rasped, his voice a chilling whisper. "This place has secrets, secrets that must remain buried." Before we could respond, he vanished back into the shadows as quickly as he had appeared. We raced back to the chalet, shaken and terrified. Madame Dubois arrived that evening, her face grimmer than usual. We frantically relayed our encounter, expecting concern. Instead, a chilling calm washed over her. "You saw the guardian," she said, her voice devoid of emotion. "He is a protector of this place, of its secrets." She spoke of a time before the ski resorts, a time when the mountains held a deep, ancient power. A power that some sought to exploit, to unleash something dark and terrible. The guardian, a protector bound to the land, stood sentinel against such threats. Her words did little to ease our mounting fear. We were trapped, snowbound on a mountain with a cryptic caretaker and a dark secret lurking beneath the surface. Chloe, her eyes red-rimmed, pleaded with me to leave. But how? The cable car wasn't running due to maintenance issues, and the snowdrifts outside were impassable. The next morning, Madame Dubois announced a change in plans. A sudden thaw, she lied, had made the cable car operational. Relief washed over us, tinged with a nagging suspicion. As we boarded the rickety cable car, the wind picked up, howling through the valley. The car lurched and swayed, the support cables groaning under the strain. Then, with a sickening crack, one of the cables snapped. The car plunged headfirst into the abyss below. I woke to a blinding white light, the smell of disinfectant stinging my nostrils. A hospital room. Chloe, pale and bandaged, lay in the bed next to mine. News reports played on the muted TV, showing the wreckage of the cable car. Miraculously, we were the only survivors. The authorities dismissed Madame Dubois as a reclusive hermit, the symbol's mere local folklore. Yet, Chloe and I know better. We carry the memory of the guardian's chilling words and the weight of a secret that the mountains hold close. The price of silence, it seems, is a chilling reminder that some things are best left undisturbed. Story number 3: The Auroras and the Abandoned Mine, a chilling Alaskan adventure. The Alaskan wilderness held a primal allure for Sarah, an aspiring photographer. Her dream was to capture the elusive aurora borealis, and a remote cabin near an abandoned silver mine offered the perfect vantage point. Joined by her best friend, Emily, the two embarked on their adventure with a backpack full of photography equipment and a heart full of anticipation. The journey was arduous. Their rickety plane deposited them on a gravel airstrip, miles from civilization. They navigated the snowy terrain by snowmobile, the silence broken only by the whine of the engine and the crunch of ice under the treads. Reaching the cabin, a weathered log structure nestled amongst towering pines, relief washed over them. The cabin itself was surprisingly well maintained, stocked with basic supplies left behind by previous visitors. They settled in, immediately setting up their cameras, eager to capture the first glimpse of the northern lights. As night fell, the sky exploded in a mesmerizing display of colors. Vibrant greens and pinks danced across the vast canvas of darkness. Sarah clicked away furiously, capturing breathtaking images. Days turned into weeks, punctuated only by the rhythm of nature and the thrill of the aurora shows. One afternoon, while exploring the area around the cabin, they stumbled upon an old, decaying sign: Silver Queen Mine, no entry. Curiosity piqued, they decided to take a closer look, ignoring the ominous warning. The entrance to the mine was a gaping maw in the side of the mountain. A rusty winch and crumbling wooden supports hinted at a long-forgotten past. Emily, ever cautious, voiced concern, but Sarah, fueled by adventurous spirit, insisted on a quick peek inside. With flashlights in hand, they ventured into the cool, damp darkness. The air grew thick and stale, the sound of dripping water echoing in the cavernous space. Carved wooden beams, blackened with age, lined the tunnel walls. As they ventured deeper, the tunnel narrowed, forcing them to crawl on their hands and knees. A sense of unease settled upon them, but they pressed on, driven by a morbid curiosity. Suddenly, Sarah felt a cold draft on her neck. She turned her flashlight beam towards the source and let out a scream. A pair of glowing red eyes, reflecting back from the darkness, sent chills down her spine. Panic seized them as they scrambled back, adrenaline pumping. They stumbled out of the mine, collapsing onto the snow outside, gasping for breath. Looking back, the entrance seemed to ooze an unnatural darkness, a stark contrast to the pristine white landscape. That night, the Aurora show was subdued, a mere flicker compared to the vibrant displays they'd witnessed before. A heavy silence hung in the air, broken only by the howling wind. Sleep was elusive. Nightmares plagued Sarah, visions of glowing eyes and shadowy figures lurking in the darkness of the mine. In the morning, Emily discovered strange symbols carved into the cabin's wooden door, symbols eerily similar to those they'd seen inside the mine. Fear, cold and sharp, gripped them. They had disturbed something ancient, something malevolent. Desperate to escape, they packed their belongings and attempted to start the snowmobile. But the engine sputtered and died. Frustration turned to despair as they realized they were truly isolated, trapped with whatever lurked within the mine. The Aurora show seemed mocking, a celestial ballet above their growing dread. Just when hope dwindled, a figure emerged from the trees. An old prospector, weathered and wrinkled like the mountains themselves, approached their cabin. He listened to their frantic story, his face grim. He spoke of the mine's dark past, a tragedy sealed within its depths, spirits restless and vengeful. With a gruff kindness, he helped them repair the snowmobile. "Leave this place," he warned them, his voice gravelly. "Never speak of the mine or what you saw within." Sarah and Emily left Alaska, vowing never to return. Their photographs captured the beauty of the auroras, but forever locked within their memories were the chilling secrets of the abandoned mine, a stark reminder that some places are better left undisturbed. The silence on the incident became their burden, a pact made with the unknown, a price they paid for their escape from the darkness. The auroras, once a source of wonder, now held a hint of something sinister, a constant reminder of the chilling mystery that lay hidden beneath the Alaskan snow.